to Lauren Reed Color. Today is the Saturday Snippet video where we are working on Small Victories by Johanna Basford. So far we have completed 4 of the 6 little images. So we did the mushroom with polychromos, the butterfly with Prismacolor, the little frog with luminance, and last time we did the shrooms with Derwent Colorsoft. And today we are moving on to the moth, and we will be using Castle Arts pencils. I will give the colors of the pencils and their Prismacolor alternatives if you don't have the Castle Arts pencils. Right, so the colors that we're going to be using for the leaves, we're going to be using saffron, which is sand or jasmine in Prismacolor, 011, which is goldenrod, 012, which is mineral orange, and 114, which is terracotta. We'll be using bluebell in the pastel tint set, which is electric blue or non-photo blue in Prismacolor, 044, which is cerulean blue, and 045, which is indigo. For the flower, we're going to be using purple colors, so 036, which is lilac, 038, violet, and 039, which is grape, black grape. For the moth, we're going to be using gray colors. So we'll be using cold gray 10, cold gray 30, and cold gray 50, which is 118, 119, and 120 in the Castle Arts. And for the background, we're going to be using the Harmonious Pale Apple, Seafoam Green, and the regular Castle Arts 54. This is Pale Sage, Jade Green, and either Peacock Green or Dark Green. This color in Castle Arts has a bluish tint to it. The Peacock Green is more blue than green, and the Dark Green is just green without any blue tint in it. So you choose the pencil that you prefer. I'll also be using a white Prismacolor because my Castle Arts white is finished. I've completed that pencil. And I'll also be using a Languau gel pen. Right, so let's get started with coloring and chatting. Okay, so we are zoomed in, and we're going to start with these leaves or fronds here at the top, and we're going to make them an orangey browny color. So we're starting with the saffron. Let me just get a page to rest my hand. Okay, and we're just going to put a light layer of this color on all of these leaves. We're going to make the top the highlight and the bottom will be the shadow. Okay. And this one as well. Okay. So, welcome, and I hope that you are all having a good weekend and that you had a nice week. My week was relatively uneventful. Last week I said that this week would be more busy because I have conferences at work. However, I got my dates wrong. And they're actually next week. So yeah, this week was still uneventful. Okay, we're moving on to the 011. Okay, make sure that your pencils are really sharp because the spaces in this on this page are really small. Yeah, so I got my dates wrong. That happens to me a lot. Anyway, so what did I do this week? On Sunday, I went to breakfast with a family friend. She's 94, but she's really spry for her age. She's got some health issues, but she's fabulous, and spending time with her is fun. So that's what we did Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, I came home and colored. So that was relaxing. What did I do on Monday? I went to the pool. I'm slowly working my way up to doing 20 laps at the pool. I did 12. I'm very proud of myself. And then I came home and colored some more. It's still the semester break, so I still have some time to like color more than I would if it was the beginning of the semester. When the semester begins, I'm gonna have a little less time until, the courses get going and we get into a rhythm. So I got to take advantage of the time for coloring. Okay, these are really tiny, so I think I'm just going to put the last color there. Okay, we're going to move on to the 114, which is the terracotta in Prismacolor. Just at the very bottom. And we can even put some on this little line here. Okay. Yeah, so I have to take advantage of the time that I have for coloring. I'm still marking student papers, the seminar paper that the students, they've all submitted now, so except for a couple who have extensions. So I'm marking those. So far, so good. Students are funny. I just, I give them instructions, I give them guidelines, and then they go and they do whatever they want. And sometimes I'm like, but I explained this. Why are you still doing this? But on the whole, the papers are good, and I'm happy with them. The one I read on Thursday was, I'm thinking, trying to remember. I read one on Matilda by Roald Dahl. That one focused on parenting. And we're going back in with the saffron just to blend everything out. And then I read one on The Hobbit. That one was really good. The student wrote about good and evil, destiny and free will, and the contrast between Eastern dragons and Western dragons. So that was a very good paper. Okay, just want to darken up those shadows a bit more. And then Thursday's paper, oh, why can't I remember? It was like just a couple of days ago. Oh, yes, it was Mary Poppins. He did his paper on Mary Poppins and about how children and adults perceive events differently. That was interesting. And he also compared Mary Poppins to representations of women in witchcraft and superstition and things like that. Okay, those are our fronds or leaves. Now we're going to move on to this flower, okay, and we're going to make it purple. Okay, so we're starting with the lilac, which is 036. Okay, and just again, a light layer over all of these petals. Leave a little bit of a highlight at the top there. Okay, so those were the papers I read this week, and next week I'll continue reading. I have 27 students, and I've read, I would say, 8 papers so far. So yeah, slowly making progress. I really hope to finish marking all of them by the end of September. Okay, next we've got 038, which is violet in the Prismacolors. Okay, we're just putting this in the shadow. Okay, so around the center of the, next to each leaf. Okay, so that's what I did for most of the week, coloring and marking in the pool. It's really making a difference for my arm, the pool. So that's good. If you're new to the channel, then I tore my rotator cuff last year, picking up the dog. So I stopped doing that. And I had physiotherapy. And now that my physiotherapy is done, the physiotherapist said I should swim. So I'm being a good girl. Okay, 039, this would be grape, yes, black grape. And really just around this circle. Okay, and then we're going to take the Prismacolor white. Okay, and we're just going to blend this out a bit. Okay. I also did some reading. I finished the audiobook that I was reading, which was Circle of the Moon. I'm just going back in with the 039 black grape to make sure my shadows are there. So yeah, I finished that audiobook. I haven't started another one yet. I'm debating what to read next, listen next. Okay, now we're going to put in that saffron in the middle. Okay. And the terracotta. Just on one side. Okay, I like that. Okay. Let's do these bluebells. Right, so we've got bluebell from the pastel tint set, or electric blue from Prismacolor. And again, just a light layer over these bluebells. I'm thinking where to put the shadow and the highlight. Okay, I think I'm going to put the highlight on the bottom. Okay, next 044 or cerulean blue. Okay, so you can actually do flicking motions here. Okay. And then the indigo, which is 045. I'm going to do that little circle at the top in this color. And then just a little bit there. Okay, I'm not going to use the Prisma. I think I like that. I'm going to leave that. Okay, let's do these leaves. We're actually going to make them greenish blue. So let's take that pale apple. Okay. which is sage green. Okay. And now we're going to take the 054. They're going to be a bluish green, I think. So we'll add some blue to them, because the background is going to also be this color, and I don't really want them to merge in too much. Okay, oh, there's a plane. We'll just wait for it to go by. And now I'm going to take that indigo again. Just deepen up this green, make it a more bluey green. Yeah, so I finished that book. Okay, Prismacolor white. Okay, back in with the pale apple. Okay, and I think I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same for these leaves. Yeah, I think so, but I might put some orange in these leaves as well. Let's see what happens if we do it with a bit of orange. Okay. Okay, here I'm going to put the highlight at the top. Okay. So I also finished reading Undercurrents by Nora Roberts. I said last week that I was either going to choose that book or another one of hers, but I decided on that one. And it started out so good. It was really good in the beginning. Amazing start. Like Nora Roberts' books sometimes are divided, I'm using the saffron, are sometimes divided into parts. So if you've read any of her books, for example, Shelter in Place started that way, and some of the others. Okay, let's do the indigo. Just to darken up the shadows. Yeah, so it started out so good, really. And I had such high hopes. Unfortunately, the middle wasn't as good. Primarily because, oops, hold on, I dropped the pencil. I'll be back. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, the middle wasn't as good, primarily because Nora Roberts in her books picks some sort of field and then gives so much detail to it. So whether it's building a house or running a business or things like that. And I'm like, this is boring. Get on with the story. I know that there are many readers who love that, but I'm not a fan. And this time it was landscaping. So it was just not, it slowed the pacing of the story, and I wasn't really that interested. I wanted them to get on with the mystery. Eventually they did, so the end of the book was good. Okay, now let's think, what are we going to do with these leaves? I might leave them. Oh, these are like those. Okay, let's do that. So back with the saffron. Okay. And yeah. Yeah, so I finished that, and now I've started reading a new book. It's called Cold, Cold Heart by Tammy Hogue. It's a mystery thriller. And the action starts right from the start. I like Tammy Hoag's books. I think she's an author who's gotten better over time. So she has a series. This book that I'm reading is not part of the series, but she has a series called Forcade and Broussard, or Broussard and Forcade, which is just brilliant. Okay, let's leave them for now because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. Once the Moth is in, I will decide. Oh, this picture is going very quickly. Okay, our Moth is going to be gray with blue and purple tints, okay? Because that's what real moths have. So we're going to start by putting down a layer of 120, which is 10% cool gray over everything. Okay, this moth is also going to have a lot of white because we want to make it look white. So don't worry so much about, the circles and the lines that Johanna has given us. Just go over everything with this color. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the bluebell. Okay, and we're just going to go around this section here. Okay, and around here, just with strokes. Okay. So where was I? Oh yes, Tammy Hoag. Forcade and Broussard, I think it's called. Great series. Okay, also here underneath. So that was the books I read this week. Okay, now we're going to go in with the indigo blue. And we're just going to darken up the shadows here. And here. And here. Okay, and here. I also spent some time on Threads this week. There are 2 accounts on Threads that I love following. One of them is called Camp Carter, and it's not a camp. Well, it is a camp. It's a camp for dogs. She fosters puppies, and she posts all about them on her Threads. Okay, we're going to now use the 50% cool gray, okay, to make this even darker. Anyway, so Camp Carter fosters puppies, and she gives each set of puppies a cool name. So, for example, there is the Jane Austen collection. All of them have been adopted already. And they all had names like Darcy and Bingley and Willoughby and Kitty and Dashwood. And she like posts about their progress and their antics, and it's so cute. Okay, we're also going to put this color on the bottom of the wings. So flick upwards and have the highlight in the middle. And another group were called the Hat Pack. They were Bernese. So fluffy. They got adopted really quickly. So they were called Cowboy Hat, Fedora, Fez, Beret. So cute. They really, as I said, they got snapped up really quickly, those puppies. She takes them all over the place. She takes them to fairs and to play dates at the park. Once they're old enough. If they're really, really small, then she doesn't. She just socializes them at home a bit. She takes them to nursing homes. And on these as well, these bottom ones too. And her current pack of puppies are called the pond pups. They're all named after things to do with ponds. So you've got Reed and Otter and Lily Pad. And there are 9 puppies in this particular litter. And when she went to pick them up, she had them all in the car. And then the lady at the shelter came running out with another one and said, this one belongs with this group too. And it's this tiny, tiny little puppy. And she called it Tadpole. And she wasn't entirely sure that Tadpole was actually part of this litter. So when she took them to the vet for a checkup, okay, what am I doing? Let's put in a little bit of that sea foam. Here's the sea foam. Hold on one second while I find my pencil. I found it. It was under the book. Anyway, so she took all the puppies to the vet for their first checkup. And she asked the vet, is this puppy, who's so much smaller than the others, is she really part of this litter? So he had a look at her and he said, yes, she's the runt. This litter has a runt. And I'd really, I'd heard this phrase before, the runt of the litter, and I understood that meant the puppy was smaller than the others, but I really didn't understand just how much smaller. She's tiny, 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 and the others are way bigger than her. And I mean, they're small, but she is just minute. And she's got some problems. She's got some problems with her legs and her eyes, but the vet said the eye thing will fix itself, but she later on might need some surgery for the legs. And he said I can't remember what it's called. It's a condition that some dogs have. But he says for her, it's because in the womb, the other puppy stood on her. Shame. Such a cute little thing. And she's so sassy. She might be small, but she has an attitude. It's so cute. Okay. Now do I want to put some purple into this moth? Maybe afterwards. Let's do the white so that it looks actually like a moth. Okay, hold on one second. I have to get my art line white. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the Prismacolor white and we're just going to blend out the highlighted areas. Okay. And now we're going to take the Artline Decorite White. Any acrylic brush pen in white will work for this, okay? It's slightly less opaque than a regular acrylic marker or like a gel pen, okay? And we're just going to go around here and you can smudge with your finger. Okay. We'll put the shadows back in once we're done. Okay, we're just lightening up because that's what moths look like. But you want to do this really quickly because if it dries, then you're stuck with it. Okay. Right, now we're just going to go back in with the 045, which is indigo, and just put our highlights back, our shadows back in. Okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, the pond pups, they're so cute. I'm not sure what breed they are. Some sort of mixed Labrador, I think, or Golden Retriever. But Tadpole, the runt, is just, I love the updates on her. She's so cute. And when she doesn't get her own way, she has a lot to say about it. Okay. Right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take the gel pen and we're going to outline this whole moth. Okay. We might even outline it again once we've put the background in. I think it might pop more once the background is in. I'm just quiet because I'm concentrating. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Let's just smooth it out a bit with this pen. Okay, I don't want to smudge it too much. Just do that. Okay, I think we're going to leave that for now and let it dry. And next time we're going to finish these leaves, do the background, and do some finishing touches on this moth. But it has to dry completely before we do anything else to it. Okay, so that's it for today's Saturday Snippet. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you have been enjoying all of these mini scenes as we've been coloring them. We're getting to the end, and we have to decide what we're going to do once this series is finished. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye for now.